Where we need to go. There should be somebody that would.
There's a chat box too. If you have a problem, you can type in the chat. I know you have a difficulty and it can be done.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it is now 7 o'clock. Welcome back, everyone. I'll call the Plan Commission Historic Preservation Commission of Wednesday, August 26, 2020 to order. Roll call, please.
Randy Little.
Here.
Aaron Bainan. Dave Hoffman. Destiny Udelhoven. Here. Brent Yackler.
Uh-oh.
Peggy Zaluka. Here. And I believe our youth and government, Delaney Mertz, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Delaney.
Hi.
All right, I believe we have a quorum. Is that correct?
It looks like Aaron Bainan just joined us.
All right. Can he confirm?
Aaron Bainan.
Here, and quorum established.
All right, perfect, thank you. Item 2, consider July 22nd, 2020 Plan Commission meeting minutes. Is there a motion or any questions or comments?
I so move. This is Peggy.
Thank you. Is there a second? I'll second. Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Item 3, public hearing for proposed attached garage in excess of 15 feet in height at 806 East Main Street. Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
This is an application to remove an existing garage and construct a two-story garage in its place. The two-story garage, the second floor would be used for a shop. Don't know much else about it. I did have one neighbor reach out to me and say that they are in favor of the garage, but they're concerned with how stormwater management will be handled. And I spoke to the applicant and he said he is willing to consider design of the eaves and where the runoff occurs when he builds the garage.
All right, thank you. Mike, did you want to add some comments?
I did have a question.
And Mike, it's hard to hear you, at least on my end.
Let's see. How is that?
A little better.
Okay. Nick, do we have a floor plan associated with the proposal?
I am not sure.
Right. I would recommend that we add a couple of conditions, and these are just for clarity. I believe the ordinance already takes care of these concerns, but...
Mike, can I interrupt you for a second? I actually didn't call the time on the public hearing. Open up the public hearing at 7:01. Please, go ahead.
All right. I would recommend a couple of conditions, because the conditions will run with the property, and a subsequent owner might see a big vacant space over the garage and have ideas what to do about it. One of those conditions would be that the garage not be used for residential purposes. And a second would be that the building not be used for commercial purposes. And if those would carry on with the property, and if there was a desire to remove those conditions, you could revisit the conditional use permit at that point in the future.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone online that wishes to speak on the public hearing?
I would like to get some clarification on what was just said from Mike.
Go ahead, Peggy.
Randy,
Well-
we're in a public hearing right now. Maybe it
Oh,
would be
I'm
better
sorry,
to
yeah,
do it
Peggy,
in writing.
I'm sorry, let's wait till
Okay.
I-4.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Again, anyone wishing to speak on the public hearing for the proposed garage in excess of 15 feet at 806 East Main Street? Anyone else wishing to speak in the public hearing? All right, hearing none, I will close the public hearing at 7:05. I will then open up item 4, consider recommendations for resolution 2020-24, conditional use permit for detached garage exceeding 15 feet in height, 806 East Main Street. Peggy, I will turn it over to you.
Oh, I will run with it. Okay, my question is, Mike, not being used for commercial purposes, there's a workshop that's going to go in up there, and if the owner wants to make rocking horses to sell, can you do that? That's commercial purposes, is it not?
Correct. And if it's only being used for a workshop, that would be permitted under the home occupation provisions of the zoning code. However, I see the word shop, and I assume it means workshop, but someone in the future may see shop and have a different idea about what that means. And because we don't have a floor plan, I think this is a way to make sure that our intentions as the village are followed in the future, and that we are not creating a retail shop at the site.
Well, it's not zoned for retail, is it, at all?
It's not zoned for retail, but a subsequent owner could see a conditional use permit that is for a shop and immediately get the wrong impression and begin to carry out desires to put a retail shop there.
So Mike, then if we include in any potential motion, no commercial or residential use, that would cover it?
That would cover it, yes.
Thank you, Mike.
I have no strong feelings either way about this, but I think it's a little bit of a blank check. If we're giving somebody a variance, I feel like we should be seeing more information from them.
I'm sorry, this is Steve Irby here. I'm the owner. Can I pipe in this part or no?
Yeah, you could have piped in a public hearing, but I will allow it now.
I'm sorry. I just,
That's all right. No problem.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the permit out of the way. I didn't want to spend too much money into it and then find out I could not do this. So that's why I don't have a specific floor plan set. I apologize.
Steve, this is Mike Slavny, the village planner. Is the intention to use the exact same footprint as the current garage?
No, there's another slide on here that shows what my intentions are. Yes, that's it.
I don't see any intentions. I just see lines. Could you tell us your intentions?
It's a 24 by 36 garage that's set back in the backyard.
And what is the shape that I've seen at the front of the garage in the driveway?
So you're seeing it, okay, so Yeah, that's a deck back there. And then my garage is back behind it up to the upper right there. That's the proposed garage.
And the dimensions again, Steve?
It's 24 by 36.
Okay, so 800 square feet or
864. Yeah.
And how tall will the building become then, measured halfway up the pitched roof?
I'm not sure about halfway up, but to the top of the peak, I'm kind of preliminary drawing here, and it's about 21 feet.
Okay. So I think that's adequate for 2 stories. It potentially could be habitable in the future. Is it your intent to ever have that be an apartment for rent or have any kind of office space in the upper floor?
No, it's not my intent. My intent is to have a workshop because I literally have no room in the house or the existing garage to have a wood shop.
And Steve, would this be a wood shop to support a hobby or an occupation?
Purely hobby.
Well, good. So I think those conditions that we talked about would enable this proposal to go forward without interference, but it would, I think, likely nip in the bud assumptions made by a subsequent owner that only has this packet and the boat in hand.
Steve?
Yes.
This is your wonderful neighbor, Randy. So the garage next to you, do you know offhand how tall that is?
I do not.
Okay. I'm guessing it could be about 15 feet. And your proposal again is for 21?
Roughly 21, yeah.
Okay. And looking at the picture again, if you could, you said there's going to be a deck off of it?
No, the deck you're seeing is on the existing house. The garage is just a rectangle garage.
Oh, I get it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Further questions, discussion? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I do.
Go ahead.
Randy, I do. This is Peggy.
Yes.
I feel uncomfortable without seeing an elevation of some kind. We've put some other people through their paces a lot on things like this, and what we're seeing here is simply a square. And I appreciate the owner not wanting to go too far until he knew it was okay. And I think that the feeling for the Plan Commission is that this is okay, but we want to kind of have a better feeling for what it is, because as we're leaving it right now, it could be a super modern garage that doesn't fit into the neighborhood and might really be offensive to neighbors. At this point, we don't know. So I'm just asking for a little more information.
Peggy, would this potentially be acceptable for staff approval, or do you want it to actually come back to us?
I think staff approval would be perfectly fine.
Nick, would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
And Mike? I think you said yes, you're on mute.
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to read lips. So Peggy, you'd be okay with that then?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Further discussion from any other member? With that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Yep, talking over each other. Try again.
I'll make a motion. This is Brent.
Thank you.
And I would, if I could.
All right, so Brent made a motion. Is there a second?
Darren, I'll second.
Very good. Further discussion? All in favor?
Just wanted,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure that you, going back to, you know, what the planner had mentioned, about the use of the shop term, that we don't need to throw that back in there. I think Steve made it pretty clear what his intentions were, so do we not need to make that part of the motion then anymore?
Oh, we probably do, Mike, don't we?
Yes, my concern isn't what this owner would do with the property, but rather subsequent owners who made no such commitment but saw the permission for a shop.
So good point. So if the motion would include no commercial or residential uses, do we just leave it at that, Mike?
And I think you should indicate staff approval of the.
Okay, good. All right, Brent, did you make the original motion?
I did.
Okay, would you agree with that?
I agree with everything that we added to the motion, and I reaffirm my motion with those additions.
All right, thank you. And then the second was?
It's Aaron, and I reaffirm my second.
All right, very good. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right. Item 5, consider proposed group development conditional use permit for 2 3-unit residential buildings proposed for lot 26 Stonehaven Estate subdivision and set public hearing for September 23rd. Nick, I'll start with you.
The applicant is asking that we table this request. When he was looking into the setback requirements, he doesn't believe he can meet them without going to a planned development. So we're going to look at that option for them.
All right, very good. I will move to table. I need a second.
This is Aaron, I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 6, consider recommendation for extraterritorial jurisdiction certified survey map for Diane Fink, section 11, town of Blue Mounds. I'll give that to you, Nick.
This is just a simple 2-lot CSM. It's just outside of the village limits on ID. Is this the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Staff had no real concerns. It was over the 5-acre minimum, but a lot of it's steep slope and wooded.
All right, excuse the phone ringing in the background. Further discussion?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Well, just kind of as an overview, considering the meeting we just went through, what is the purpose of this CSM? I guess that's it. What's the purpose of this?
I believe they're splitting off a lot for a church to be built on site.
So at this point, zoning is not an issue. Is that correct?
Zoning has already been approved by the town, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, I'm sorry, state your names again, too, please.
Destiny Udelhoven.
You? Is there a second?
Dave.
Did I hear a second?
I think that was Dave Hoffman.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. We'll move to item 7. Consider recommendation for extraterritorial jurisdiction certified survey map for James Lusinger, hope I said that right, Z&L Properties LLC, section 13, town of Blue Mounds. Nick, you brought up the map there. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a 4-lot CSM. It's just south of the highway on County JG. We had the zoning change in a month or so ago for comment. I believe the town still needs to take action on this, but it has been submitted and it's scheduled for an agenda. So if we are gonna recommend approval, it should be contingent on the town approving as well.
All right, thank you. Nick, I'm going to go back once to item 5. Did the motion include the public hearings for September 23rd, I assume?
We tabled the whole thing, yeah.
Oh, we tabled the whole thing, so we didn't have to do that. Okay, never mind.
Right.
All right, thank you. Additional questions on item 7 or comments?
Yeah, my question is just like before, what is the purpose of this?
The applicants are on, but my understanding is it's gonna be like a light industrial business park. And the zoning step has already been approved by the town.
And so are we just being given the information, or do we have any way to act on this?
We have a vote on this, but I believe it meets all the qualifications except for it hasn't been approved by the town.
This is Mike Slavny. I do have a concern that I feel is important in terms of voting tonight, and that is that this would create more than 4 lots by certified survey map in a 5-year period, which is a limit imposed by state statutes. And the statutes allow for the controlling jurisdiction, which would be the town in this case, to enact a waiver that would allow the creation of more than 4 lots within those 5 years. But the town has not taken action on that waiver. And I'm reluctant for the village to approve the creation of these lots before we know the town thinks it's a good idea. And my recommendation would be to table it and wait till our next meeting. And if we now have a resolution number that appears in the blank in the box on the base of the certified survey map, we'll be able to confirm that the town has indeed been comfortable with that. The statutes allow for up to 60 days for a certified survey map approval once it's complete, but this one is not complete because that key bit of information is missing. So I have no concerns with the certified survey map technically, other than right now the town has not given permission yet for this certified survey map to go forward. I'm not comfortable with that.
All right, thanks, Mike. Nick, are you okay then if we table this? I assume?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
All right. Further discussion or a motion?
Randy,
Can I just ask a question? Is this property that was owned by the school district?
Correct, yes.
Randy, Mike Slavny again. I had a conversation with the applicant's consultant tonight about if the village does go forward with extraterritorial zoning, what are the implications for this project? And I realized plan commissioners were at the meeting earlier this evening. Extraterritorial zoning freezes zoning. It freezes the map and it freezes the town zoning code from amendments. But it is not a moratorium on development. It does not freeze development. So development such as land divisions, building permits, other kinds of development permits may go forward so long as they do not require a change in the zoning map or the zoning code. And so the impact on the imminent development of this property once it is divided would be none in terms of any extraterritorial zoning.
Thank you. Further comments?
Yeah, Mike, could you rephrase what you just said in a little bit different way?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, I usually do better the second time around, too.
Okay.
If the village adopts extraterritorial zoning, it freezes the town zoning ordinance from amendments, and it freezes the town zoning map. but the zoning for this property is already in place. Development activity, including land divisions like this certified survey map, pulling building permits or stormwater permits or grading permits, other kinds of development permits are not affected by extraterritorial zoning. There is no freeze on those kind of activities. So this afternoon, when discussing this property and that question was asked, I said that aside from likely creating a month's wait for the land division, waiting for the town resolution to pass, otherwise, once that accomplished, the normal zoning and, well, the normal development process is not impacted by extraterritorial zoning.
Okay, so then, as far as our long-range plan, I don't think we generally go south of the highway. And are we opening a Pandora's box here, or did I miss something?
Well, the village, aside from its treatment plant, which had to go south of the bypass, has had that policy, and we've had it in practice for decades. But our policy does not constrain town actions. So the town has been approving non-residential development south of the bypass here and there, and this would be the next in line. And we really have no authority over that except by freezing the zoning. But the zoning for this development was granted in June, and so it's already in place.
Thank you for the clarification.
Can we speak? Hello?
So are we, further discussion?
We can't get in. Hello? Hello?
Yes, who's this?
This is the chairman of the town of Blue Mountain. We've acted on that, and all the paperwork is currently at general engineering, which will be finished, and it probably is finished today. And we will send you a copy of all the papers for that, the final paperwork on this particular project.
Okay, Nick, you good with that?
I would defer to Mike. He's the expert on this one.
Okay. Mike, are you good with that?
Well, when I asked the developer's consultant if the town had acted, he told me no. And Chairman Jelly, what I was talking about is the resolution for the waiver of the certified survey map. Is that what you've approved?
Yes, we approved everything on the expanded CSM. Yeah, on the CSM last Monday night, a week ago. And the conditional use permits and the driveway and everything has been approved. Again, I repeat this: all the work that's being done on it is currently at general engineering, and which will be finished probably in the next day or two. And so we would gladly send that information to you at that time.
Well, what I would recommend then is a conditional approval subject to the provision of the resolution number by the applicant and the submittal of a updated certified survey map for village signature.
All right, thank you, Mike. Further discussion. So the approval would include Mike's comments on the conditional use. Correct, Mike?
On the condition of approval.
I'm sorry, condition of approval.
Yes.
Thank you. Further discussion. I would need a motion with Mike's comments.
This is Grant. I'd like to make a motion with Mike's comments, including the Blue Mounds resolution number provided as well on the CSM.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Dave Hoffman, yes.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
All right, Plan Commission share reports. We've got a lot of things going on. We've had 135 general permits since January 1st. That's fantastic. We've got the South Brookwood 20-unit apartment building going on, and new duplex, four new duplex, and some single-family homes also still happening. So things are still clicking. Hopefully everyone is getting through this COVID deal. It's been kind of a pain, but we'll move on. Village planner reports. Mike, what do you got for us?
Briefly, in 2 weeks, we'll have our follow-up meeting at the Capital Area Regional Plan Commission for the Urban Service Area Amendment for the parcel that Quick Trip has acquired. We're expecting a vote at that meeting. If we get a positive vote, it gets forwarded to DNR, and they're typically taking 3 to 4 weeks for their final determination. So at least at this point, that project is moving forward. That's all for me.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Mike, I've got a question. Mike?
I'm sorry, Peggy?
Yeah. Mike, why is the DNR involved in this?
Yeah, the authority that CARPC has for urban service areas is to protect the state's surface and groundwater resources. And that authority is actually the DNR's authority, and CARPC is their agent within Dane County. So the CARPC final vote is a recommendation to DNR. DNR is the final authority. In that way, the CARPC Regional Planning Commission is acting like the Village Plan Commission to the Village Board.
Thank you very much.
All right, any other questions for Mike? With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, item 10.
I so move. This is Peggy.
Thank you. I thought we'd be here forever. Is there a second?
Destiny
I'll
will
second.
second.
All right, Destiny's seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, everyone, for coming to 2 meetings tonight. Appreciate your help.